Two teenagers stood at the edge of an overgrown property, staring at the mansion looming ahead of them. The building looked ancient, like something that had been standing there long before the town itself existed. Time had not been kind to it. Cracks ran through the stone walls. Parts of the roof had collapsed inward, and one of the tall decorative pillars along the porch had completely fallen over. Tall weeds choked the front yard. Rusted gates hung crooked on their hinges. Yet despite its decayed appearance, rumors about the mansion had circulated for years. People said that when the last family living there disappeared decades ago, they left everything behind. Expensive antiques, jewelry, rare collectibles. No one had ever confirmed it, but the idea of hidden treasure inside the abandoned house was enough to tempt curious teenagers. One of the boys stepped onto the broken walkway leading to the porch. His friend hesitated. "Are you sure nobody lives here?" he asked quietly. The other teen shrugged confidently. "I've been watching this place for 3 days," he said. "Nobody's come in or out." He paused for a moment, then added, "Well, I thought I saw a faint light through one of the boarded windows once, but it might have just been a reflection or something." That didn't make his friend feel any better. "If someone is inside," the first teen continued, pulling something from his pocket, "it's probably just some old squatter." He knelt beside the front door and revealed a small lockpick set. "Just keep watch," he said. The lock clicked open almost immediately. Both teens froze. The sound echoed loudly in the quiet night. Slowly, the boy pushed the door open. The hinges groaned in protest. Beyond the doorway lay complete darkness. "Come on," he whispered, before slipping inside. His friend lingered on the porch, shifting nervously as he watched the darkness swallow him. The silence outside felt strangely heavy. Then suddenly, a loud crash echoed from somewhere nearby. The boy jumped and spun around in panic, expecting to see police lights or an angry homeowner rushing toward them. Instead, he saw a stray cat chasing a rat through a pile of trash cans. The cat knocked several cans over before emerging triumphantly with the rat hanging from its mouth. The teen sighed in relief. "Stupid cat," he muttered. He turned back toward the house just in time to see the front door slam shut. Startled, he rushed forward and grabbed the handle. Locked. He tapped quietly. "Hey!" No answer. He knocked again, a little louder. "Hey, what's going on?" Still, nothing. Inside the mansion, his friend was also pulling on the handle. It refused to move. He twisted the lock repeatedly, but it wouldn't turn. "Great," he muttered under his breath. The room around him was barely visible. Dust coated every surface. Cobwebs stretched across the ceiling like thick gray curtains. The furniture looked ancient, as if no one had touched it for decades, and yet something didn't make sense. Small candles were burning on several tables scattered around the room. Fresh candles. Someone had lit them recently. A faint smell of melted wax hung in the air. With no other options, the boy moved deeper into the mansion. The next room looked much the same as the first. Old furniture sat beneath layers of dust, and more candles flickered quietly on shelves and tables. Their dim yellow light barely pushed back the darkness. That was when he heard it. Footsteps. Slow, deliberate. They were coming from somewhere above him. Someone was upstairs. His heart began pounding. If whoever was up there came downstairs, they would see him immediately. He quickly searched the room for somewhere to hide. A large sofa sat against one wall. He crouched behind it, trying to make himself as small as possible. But as he grabbed the edge of the couch to steady himself, a sudden sharp pain shot through his hand. He gasped and dropped his knife. A long metal needle had pierced straight through his palm. For a moment he stared in disbelief. Then he yanked it out. Blood ran down his fingers as he pressed the wound against his mouth. Trying to stay quiet, the footsteps above suddenly stopped. The silence that followed felt even worse. Whoever had been walking upstairs didn't come down. Minutes passed. The boy finally forced himself to stand. He had to get out of this house. There had to be another exit somewhere. He picked up his knife and slowly crept into the next room. Something immediately caught his eye. In the far corner of the room, something was lying on the floor. At first, he thought it was just a pile of old clothes, but the shape was wrong. It looked human. Meanwhile, outside the mansion, his friend had begun digging through the nearby trash pile. After a few minutes, he found something that might work. An old wire hanger. He straightened it out as best he could and hurried back to the front door. Inside the mansion, the boy approached the shape in the corner. The candlelight was too dim to see clearly, but something about it pulled him closer. He picked up a nearby candle and knelt beside the figure. The flickering flame illuminated the body, and he screamed. Outside, the other teen heard nothing. Frustrated, he tried working the hanger inside the lock. It still wouldn't open. "Come on," he muttered. Inside the mansion, the candle trembled in the boy's hand. The figure on the floor had once been a person, but its eyes were gone. Thick black thread had been stitched through the corners of its mouth, pulling the lips into a twisted smile. Long strands of string had been sewn into its arms and legs, like the limbs of a puppet. The boy staggered backward in horror. Then something creaked above him. Footsteps again. Slow, patient, watching. Outside, the second teen finally gave up and threw the hanger down. He sat on the porch, trying to decide what to do. Calling the police would mean explaining why they had broken into the house in the first place, but leaving his friend behind felt even worse. Just as he stood up to leave, he heard a soft click behind him. The door. He rushed back and tried the hanger one more time. This time, the lock popped open instantly. The door slowly creaked inward. He stared into the darkness beyond. Every instinct told him not to go inside. Bate cooled until leave his friend. Taking a deep breath, he stepped into the mansion. The room looked exactly as his friend must have seen it. Dusty furniture, flickering candles. And in the center of the room, someone sitting in a chair, facing away from him. "Hey," he whispered. No response. "Come on, man, we need to get out of here." Still nothing. He cautiously approached the chair. He was close enough now to touch the person sitting there. He placed a hand on his friend's shoulder. The body didn't react. Slowly, he stepped around the chair to see his friend's face, and froze. The eyes were missing. The mouth had been stitched into a permanent grin. Strings hung from the arms and legs, like a puppet waiting to be controlled. Then he heard it. Behind him, the front door slowly creaked shut, and somewhere in the darkness above, footsteps began again.
If this horror story hooked you, subscribe so you don't miss the next one.